And we are back. The lads are back. The punt show's underway. It's week 2. We'll cover last week's adventure. What a shocking week for betting, for fantasy, for everything. But we'll get started. But lads, how are you? Tag, nice to have you back.
Yeah, good. Sorry I missed out last week. I've been away on holiday and a few clashes of schedules, but we're back this week. The tripod's back on, bringing the luck and bringing some good bets.
Oh, I like it. Well, we need to do better than last week. But Bish, you want to take us through your last week and how you're doing as well?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, like you said, looking forward to this week's action. I think most teams treated week 1 as a bit of a sort of not a pre-season, but first game back at it. So hopefully this week will be a bit better. But yeah, myself, my best bets, I was 1 out of 3. I got the script right in the Chargers game, but it was J.K. Dobbins, not Gus Edwards. Eckler came in pretty comfortably, and then Deontay Johnson. I'm definitely, I thought there would be a change quite drastically in that Panthers franchise, let alone attack, and that certainly didn't happen. So I'm staying away from that. And if you did go on singles, I salvaged an anytime touchdown scoring Kenneth Walker as well. So 2 out of 4 for the week. I'm hoping to do better this one.
Well, that makes one of us, because I think I don't even want to say, I think I was 0 for 4 on the week. So I've had a shocking start to the season. I had Pittsburgh v Atlanta over 42 and Atlanta to win. Obviously got that one wrong. Atlanta didn't win. Good game, interesting game. I think Pittsburgh were much better than what we thought. Great defensively without scoring a touchdown. So yeah, tough one there. I thought Atlanta offense would be thing, but obviously Kirk Cousins disappointed us all, and it looks like he's not fully got his bounce back from his Achilles. I had Cincinnati Bengals -8. Arizona Cards +6.5. The Cards, did they hit 6.5 in the end? I think they did. I think I landed part of it, but the Bengals obviously had one of the. I was watching it in tears. I had a few. I had a few fantasy players around that game, and it was just a shocker. Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, he's not looking so good at the moment, and disappointed in the Bengals. And then the final one, the Bet Builder. Dolphins to win. Mostert touchdown was the killer. I thought it'd be Mostert in the goal line. Everything last year indicated Mostert's the goal line touch man. And as we've seen for the last 2 weeks now, because Miami played last night, it's all Devon Achane, and he's now a bell cow back. So I'll be avoiding Mostert betting from now on. Tyreek Hill did well, but yeah. So tough day, a couple of tough losses, but yeah, got the Bengals completely wrong. And like you said, the running back situations, I think we both can say Bish probably should have stayed away from, because it's you have to learn, don't you, going into the year exactly where and who's got the timeshare and who's doing what role in the offense. Tag, take us through yours quickly.
Yeah, my tag's treble. What are we doing this year? Doing a treble every week. I was probably with 5 minutes to go in the early games. I probably think I'm winning. I'm coming in. The Saints, for me, the handicap -4 on the Saints against the Panthers was just stealing money for me. That had come in easily. The Texans won. They ended up winning by 2 points, I believe, and I had a -3. Obviously, they scored a touch towards the end. I thought they'd take the field goal because they needed 2 scores, but they actually ran it still and went for it. And I had over 45 in the Titans-Bears game. I reckon after 3 quarters, it looks like coming in for quite a while. There was only probably 5 more points needed. But yeah, I was 1 out of 3 on my treble. I feel like I was really close. I think at one stage, you probably thought you're in. I remember messaging our group saying, I think I'm in, lads. But that's the NFL for you. It's week 1 for you. It's a risk, to say the least. So hoping for better things this week with a treble.
Yeah, with your we'll get straight into it, lads. Better week this week. Bish, keep on your decent form and hopefully build on it, and we'll land even more. So take us through your first bet, Bish.
My first one up, and I'm trying to, like you say there, do better and stick with vets. So first one up, I've got over 67.5 receiving yards. And this is just a bit of what I've seen from Washington. Last week, Baker was absolutely cooking, probably against a poor Commanders team, but 4 touchdowns, 189 yards, and Mike Evans seen 2 touchdowns and 61 yards for that. So they're coming up against Detroit this week, who are definitely very good against the run, but as we saw last week, the Rams sort of showed a bit shaky against the pass. Do concede big yards, and that's just. I think this will be a bit like the playoff game last year. It will be a high scoring affair, and I think Baker in form can sort of see Mike Evans as the number one. A few long shots, and I think this comes in. So I think there'll be plenty of points in this game and plenty of yards for Baker, who's plenty confident at the minute. So yeah, Mike Evans over 67.5 receiving yards.
I like it. I think Chris Godwin moving to the slot helps this a lot. So like you said, the long shots are now going to Mike Evans and the rookie. And obviously Baker trusts Mike Evans. Obviously we saw them 2 touchdown throws were just unbelievable. Catches last week from Mike Evans were unbelievable. So I'd take the receiving yards and to get him a touchdown, to be fair, in this one. Bish, like you said, it game script wise makes sense. Yeah, I'm with you.
Magic Mike is doing things already. Always delivers fantasy, 1,000 yards, 10 years in a row. You saw the clip as well on the sideline of Baker talking to him, saying literally, if you're 1-on-1, you're getting the ball. And that's how much belief he's got in him. So I'm all in with this one with you, Bish. I think it's the best one you've put out there in a while. Well done, mate.
Best fruit.
I'll take you through my first one, lads. It's you might laugh at me here, but it's a massive one. I've got I've made my own bet builder. It's got 4 points, and the odds are ginormous. So I'll get into it. It's in the New England and Seattle game. DK Metcalf touchdown, Ramondre Stevenson touchdown, DK 50 plus receiving, and Ramondre 50 plus rushing yards. Seattle aren't brilliant against the run. We saw obviously last week with New England, Ramondre is the man. He's kind of, I don't want to call him a bell cow because I don't know if there's that much in the offense is that thing, but I think he passes 50 plus rushing yards fairly easy on this one. Like you said, and then to get the touchdown, New England, they run the ball. The wide receivers aren't of top echelon. They're putting wide receivers out there that were drafted in the 4th, 5th round and hoping it goes well. I'm all over Ramondre. DK had a quiet week last week, so I'm going for the bounce back. It's always a bit risky. I think obviously early season going for this big bounce back, but you're defended by your man all week, Tiger PS2. Shut him down, to be fair. And I think he's guaranteed to get that touchdown. They'll look for him in the end zone, look to get him working early on. They don't want to get it to week 3, week 4 with DK not having much action. I know, obviously, the New England cornerback has been very good. He was last week, but DK's been talking all week saying, I've got his number. He can't guard me. He's too small. You know what? I'm going to ride with DK and his confident words for this one and let him have a big week.
Yeah, I quite like this one. I think, like you said, Stevenson is he should get that just from volume alone, the 50 yards. A little bit disappointed in Seahawks last week. Obviously, DK quiet as you've spoke about. He is that number one there, so hopefully, this could be 1, maybe 2 throws, a bit of a blown coverage. It is a tough defense to come up against, but your main man. Hopefully, you're looking at over 50 yards.
I think the risk is still the Patriots are a bit of an unknown. Obviously, they had the Bengals on lockdown last week, but Joe Burrow and the Bengals started last season very poor. Burrow's come back from a long injury, his first game back. Is the Patriots D that good, or was Bengals that bad? We won't really know until the next few weeks unfold. If the D is that good of the Patriots, then you'd worry for the DK Metcalf. But the thing is with DK, what you've got here, Joe, is he loves them long-range touchdowns, doesn't he? I mean, that 50-plus yards, if he gets a touchdown, it's arguably going to be in that in that one touchdown pass. So I like the bet. I like it. I might have a little dabble on it myself. I don't mind it. It's we're starting well here, lads. A couple of good ones on the show already.
We say this every week, but that's a problem.
This is 10-1, lads. It's 10-1. The money's there.
Yeah.
Go have some fun. Go have some fun and earn yourself some money. Bish, should take us through your second bet?
Number 2, and it's Jonathan Taylor over 79.5 rushing yards here, coming up against the Packers. This line has actually moved quite a bit. Earlier on in the week, it was 72.5, so there's money coming in for this. And I think it's just set up for the game script. Obviously, the big news coming into this one is no Jordan Love for the Packers. Injured last week, MCL done. So that means Malik Willis comes in. And although he's looked good in pre-season for the Packers, in his 3 starts at Tennessee, he's had 0 games over 100 yards throwing. So this, for me, boils down to it's going to be a running game, and I think that favours the Colts. We saw what the Barkley and the Eagles did to the Packers running game last week. Barkley, 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing, and Hurts was over 30 plus yards rushing as well. So they can be gashed, and I think it's perfect for Jonathan Taylor, slowly building up. 16 carries last week, only 48 yards, so wasn't very effective. But I think as the season goes, he will build, and I think this could be a good week for him. He's also thrown in there, along with Jalen Hurts, you've got Anthony Richardson, who's the running combo as well, same as last week. So I think they'll both have good rushing games. I'm just hoping that Jonathan Taylor gets enough carries to see him through to that 80 yards that we need.
Yeah, Tag, you take it.
Yeah, I like it again. This Colts team looked impressive. There was unlucky, obviously, to just lose to a very, very good Texans team. Jonathan Taylor looked very good. Obviously, he was a bit in and out last year, injuries, but I like it. They've got so much going from this Colts team, and obviously Richardson looks brilliant if he stays fit. Obviously, I pulled Richardson out as a bit of a fantasy goer, and there's a question mark, but he shows if he stays fit, he's got it. He's done it against the Texans week 1, but no, I like it. I think JT, back to his best, covers it. There's a big question mark on Green Bay, and obviously the travel won't have helped as well to Brazil and back. There might be a few tired bodies out there, so I'm liking it, lads. 3 out of 3 already. We're flying.
Oh, the confidence from Tag done there. I'll take you through my second one quick, and it's I'm calling it my Bet365 Bet Builder Boost, but I've created it myself. It's going off this Bish, so I thought I'd get this one out the way. It's got a bit of Bish's one just to give it a bit more confidence. I've got in the Colts Packers game again. I've got it going over 45 points. I think the Colts are going to run all over the Packers. I think the Packers will have to keep up with them. I'm not saying the Colts are going to win. I've left that bit out because I think the Packers and Josh Jacobs, as we saw in the second half of the game, has got the running game to maybe keep up with him. Obviously, Malik Willis is quite a mobile quarterback as well, so I think it will be a similar sort of game in both sides. Yeah, and I think obviously we saw with Himchidson last week some of them massive bombs. I think he's got one of them a game. I know obviously he had 2 last week. I think he's got 1 massive bomb a game, and he's got loads of rushing upside. So I think there'll be some points scored. It might not be great for the old red zone where there's stuff all the time, but I think there'll be 2 or 3 massive plays. JT. Obviously, as Bish said, I got 79.5 rushing yards. So I think I did this just earlier on today. So I think it's gone up again. There's a lot of money being put on this. So go on. There's just not a world where Packers stop JT. They've got terrible run defense, and especially with Richardson taking some of the tougher work as well, it's just going to open up for them. And then Josh Jacobs over 66.5 rushing yards. The Colts aren't good rush defenders. They've got their benefits in defense, but it's not the rushing game. They were over the half. They were on the worst half of the rush defense last year. They wasn't good last week against Joe Mixon, and I think Josh Jacobs has got the talent to get over 66.5. That's not a massive number for a bell cow like Jacobs. I'm taking this one all day. The one I'm nervous about is the points, because it might just be a rushing affair. But you know what? 20 points each, 1 or 2 big plays from Hinchardson, and we're having fun. I think we're celebrating 2 out of 2.
What do you think, Tag?
Yeah, I think you've nailed it in the fact of my doubt with this one. This is probably the one I'm unsure about. The one so far is, I agree with you both. It's going to be a running game. I really don't like Malik Willis. Don't like anything I've seen of him. Didn't like him much in college. And the 40.5 points will just be a race against the clock, because if it's a running game, the clock's running, the clock's ticking over. So the only doubt in this is if you run out of time, Joe. But like you say, then 1-2 big splash plays by Richardson. It could be big because of Richardson. It's probably going to be falling on his feet. Being fully honest, least confident on this one out the 4 so far, and that's just because of the pure running game and how fast that clock's going to be ticking over.
Well, I'll take it. Bish, take us through your third bet.
My third one, and it might be a rinse and repeat from last week. Austin Eckler over 20.5 receiving yards. The line's the same, and I think it's great value again this week. He covered it last week, 4 out of 4 catches, 52 yards, most receiving yards on the team, and I think it's just great value again. This week they're coming up against New York Giants. I had it written down there, New York. I had to figure out which one it was. New York Giants, they're very bad on offense, as we know, but defensively, that front line can still do, some damage. Dexter Lawrence sort of leads that in the terms of the pass rush. And again, I think it's there. Jaden Daniels will run, but I just think he's got the options. Even Brian Robinson was catching balls last week, the big running back. So it's there to just hand it off, get the easy yards, and off we go. So if anything, I potentially see this as a little bit of an easier task than last week against the Buccaneers. So again, hopefully I'll be sending a message into the group nice and early that this one's done.
I'm agreeing with you, all day long. Tag, I think.
Yeah, look, I like Washington this week. Giants just don't see it. Love Jaden Daniels, love his running game, love Eckler as he's out, the little dump off pass. For it to keep the same line, it's very good value.
I'll give you my last one quickly. I'm going my safer one, and then we're on to tags. It is Cleveland Browns and the Jags game under 41.5 points. And I've got the Jets v the Tennessee Titans, also under 41 points. I'm taking the unders. It's still week 2. Offenses still aren't running well. We saw how bad the Browns were in offense last week. As revealed to Bish in the fantasy show, I actually had a bet on the Browns having one of the best having the best record in NFL. I can't even finish that sentence after what we saw last week, and I was completely wrong. So I'm betting against him all week wrong until Watson proves me otherwise. Jacksonville steady, not super impressed by their offense. I just don't see it. The running backs big in this game again, sort of like the Green Bay one. I'm talking. Obviously, but neither of these have Anthony Richardson chucking 90-yard bombs down the field and getting me away with the 40 points here. So, I'm taking the under. New York Jets, Titans, similar sort of one. It's going to be running back heavy. We've got Breece Hall. We've got Tennessee Titans. Obviously, we saw Pollard run really effectively for Tennessee. I don't think any of them have big wide receivers. And Garrett Wilson is the big name, but he didn't have a big week. Maybe Rodgers can get him going, but Rodgers didn't look too impressive. I just think it's going to be 2 steady running heavy games here, taking the unders all day long.
Yeah, I like it. I think your only worry is obviously, like you said, just mentioned at the end there, Rodgers, week 1, a very impressive drive on the touchdown against the Niners, but it was against the 49ers in San Fran. Probably the hardest game of any schedule you can open up with. I think your only issue is if Rodgers goes off with the Jets. With Breece Hall, a few of them mad runs, and Rodgers starts throwing bombs everywhere. But other than that, mate, I like it. Definitely love the Cleveland Jags under. I'd be all over that.
Okay, all right. Tag. We're on to Tag's treble. Different feel to this year, so let's have it.
Yeah, my treble. So Different treble every week we're going to be going with. This one I've gone for, rather than overs, unders, I've gone for 3 teams. And I think you can get them on most bookmakers. But the first of the treble is Baltimore Ravens, minus 12.5. They're at home to the Raiders. I thought the Ravens were really impressive. I did say San Fran away was probably the hardest game in week 1 for Rodgers, but up there would have been Chiefs away. Super Bowl reigning champions back to back. Ravens went into that game and it's obviously nearly won it at the end. Literally toenail callback touchdown against Isaiah Likely. They would have gone for the 2 points, and if they would have ran them 2 points, Derrick Henry 1 yard line, I think maybe Ravens come away with a win. I really like the Ravens this year. I think they've only got stronger. They'll be frustrated from that first week, and for me, the Chargers aren't brilliant, and they never really looked in trouble against the Raiders and easily covered their spread against the Raiders. I think Minshew magic might have just run out of magic this year. He might have just run out of it. I think the Ravens are going to put a score on them. I actually think 12.5, I've been a bit conservative, and you still get very good odds for that on its own. But I think it's going to be a bit of a hammering. So that's the first game. The Texans, loving what they're doing. Obviously, beat a very good Colts team, I think, week 1. They're at home to the Bears. The Bears, Caleb Williams, obviously, rookie, QB, picked them 1 overall. Didn't look great. Without their special teams and defense, they lose week 1. The Texans, their offense looks unbelievable. Back at home, I can't see the Bears getting them defensive touchdowns and special team plays again. Again, I think this could be bigger, but I'm going to be a bit more reserved. Keep it within a field goal and touchdown with a minus 9.5, and it's more and better double your money on just that one on its own. Again, to finish the treble without dragging out too long, this is probably the riskiest one of them all, but the Carolina Panthers just look so poor. I know they're at home, but the Chargers go there, minus 6. You've seen what the Chargers defense did to Raiders. You've got Khalil Mack and Bosa. Bryce Young's going to be under so much pressure, and they just can't help but turn the ball over. And I feel like Herbert, you've seen the confidence Harbaugh's putting it in. They've got the run game Bish talks about with a bang Dobbins and Edwards. And I like Lad McConkey. We'll get into him in a bit, but I'm feeling really good about this treble, lads. I know there's a bit of a couple of chunks of minuses there, but I've just gone for 3 games. I know it's only week 2, but I've gone against probably, I think, arguably the 3 worst teams in NFL from what I've seen on the first week, and I'm going all in on Tags treble. Thoughts?
I'll start, Bish. I'll be a bit negative at first, just because you've got a punt curse going against you here, Tag, and I didn't. Whenever we bet on games over a touchdown, we've notoriously never landed one. That's me and Bish. So I'm hoping you stop the curse, and hopefully that's just for me and Bish going against each other. Because like you said, you've got 2 overs there. I love your reasoning. I think you're spot on. It's always safe bets going against the worst teams in the NFL. I think the only thing I'd really question on is the Chargers one's the favourite one for me. I know obviously the Chargers offense is still a bit ropey, but you've got Herbert there who did good enough last week, and like you said, that rush defense against the Panthers, it's just gonna be embarrassing for me. So I'm most confident about the Chargers one. I get you with the Ravens and Texans just being elite teams beating 2 bad teams, but yeah, Chargers minus 6 all day long. I'm getting on that as we speak.
I think my biggest question mark is probably that Houston one. And in terms of what are the Bears like, we're going to have to see a lot more from Caleb Williams, just in terms of, I think, just in keeping up with the Texans. Like you said, Tag, the Bears defense will slow him down, but I think eventually he scores points. So can Caleb and that offense keep up? We know Roma Dunes is not there. Keenan Allen's struggling. So it's a lot on DJ Moore. So, and again, the Ravens, I think they come back with a bang. Yeah, I can see that. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, maybe with Mark Andrews, he even gets involved, after a bounce back. So, yeah, I can see that being it'd kick us if it was only a 10-point touchdown and field goal, but I think two touchdowns is comfortable there. And yeah, Chargers, I think, like you said, play defense, run the ball. That's what Harbaugh's about. I think that'll come in. Yeah. So yeah, it's big odds, and hopefully get us going.
I think we're over. I think it's over 10-1 on that treble. Yeah, over 10-1. Obviously, different bookmakers. I think I put that together on 365, but you should get the alternate handicaps on other websites, no problem.
And then we've got the competition lads. Obviously, Bish has one up on us both. Bish has won. Me and Tag missed our touchdown pick for last week. So well done, Bish. You've got an early lead going into week 2. But I'll load it up now, and then we'll go through our touchdown and why we think, and hopefully it lands for you all watching.
Yeah, straight up. So back in my bet, really, I've got Jonathan Taylor coming in, and as I said, we saw what Saquon did on the ground against the Packers. Jonathan Taylor, who was 11-10, I think over evens for a running back who's going to get plenty of touches. I think it's a great start for us.
I've got Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs. As we saw last week, he's a freak. I think I've contradicted myself a lot for DK. I said the crap talking's going to work in his favour, that he's talking crap, and I think he's going to have to match it. Obviously the defence that the Chiefs are going against here have been saying Worthy's not very good. He just runs fast. He runs straight. Oh, sorry, I've not contradicted myself. I'm back in the same thing, actually. I don't know what my brain did there. But Xavier Worthy is going big. He's too fast, too strong, and I think he's going to get a touchdown most weeks with Mahomes in there. I think, it's going to be a good week for Chiefs once again. They're against the Bengals. No, they're not against the Bengals, sorry. They're against the Falcons. They weren't that impressive on defense last week, and they're not stopping Xavier Worthy anytime soon.
I'm finishing off the treble with lad McConkey. I like him. I think he's wide receiver 1 until Mike Williams is back. I saw Justin Herbert looking for him a bit last week. He found him once or twice. They're playing the Panthers, arguably the worst defense in the league. We saw the Panthers pass defense against the Saints, which was just embarrassing last week. It was absolutely embarrassing. You saw Shaheed run riot, everyone getting the act. They even benched Carr, and they're still throwing them. So I think Herbert's going to have a few touchdown passes this week. And for me, his number 1 target at the minute and wide receiver 1 in LA is lad McConkey. We're on.
Like it, lads. Yeah, I give the worst reason ever for Worthy. I got the teams wrong and everything, so apologise there, but I have done the research prior. Let's get on.
Speed. You're just back in speed, Joe, aren't you? Come on.
Speed. Doesn't matter who's he going against. It doesn't matter if I get it right or wrong. It's speed, and he's going to get a touchdown with Mahomes there.
There's a new cheater in town.
We'll just quickly run over it, lads, for the old shorts. We've been doing well on them. We'll run over your bets, and we'll finish off the show.
So bet 1, I've got Mike Evans over 67.5 receiving yards. Bet 2 is Jonathan Taylor over 79.5 rushing yards, and bet 3 is Austin Eckler over 20.5 receiving yards.
Like it, I have got DK Metcalf, Ramondre Stevenson touchdown. DK and DK getting over 50 receiving yards, and Ramondre getting over 50 rushing yards. I didn't announce it when we were going through them. That is my Bet365 bet boost. Get on it as soon as you see, because I think they change it up all the time. Get on that. I think it's a safe banker. If DK gets a touchdown, it's on. My second one, I've got in the Colts-Packers game, I've got over 40.5 points. That's the risk. The rest of them are bankers here. I've got Josh Jacobs over 66.5 rushing yards and Jonathan Taylor over 79.5, backing up Bish's comments earlier. And then my third one, I've got Cleveland Browns in the Jacksonville Jaguars under 41.5 points, 2 average offenses, 1 really bad, 1 average, and same sort of reason in the Jets-Titans game. It's going to be run heavy. The Jets we'll see. We'll see if they're high powered or not. Tennessee Titans are just going to run the ball, try and get the wide receivers going, but I think the Jets can shut them down. So I think unders on both of these. Tag.
So for Tag's treble this week, we've got the Baltimore Ravens minus 12.5 on the alternate handicap. We've got the Houston Texans minus 9.5 on the alternate handicap. And the normal handicap, set in stone, most places, LA Chargers minus 6. That's a treble, all three to come in, paying just over 10-1.
Cool.
Brilliant, lads. Thank you. Bish, I'll let you finish it off.
Yeah, thanks for those subscribers who have subscribed. We're slowly creeping up now. So yeah, again, if you're watching, please subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. And good luck with your bets this week. Gamble responsibly.
Let's go, lads. See you next week.
See ya.